Namaste students. Let us look at these pictures today and try to understand what does it mean. It shows oxygen, resins, compost, tannin, gum, rubber. What are these? If you're thinking these are plant products, yes, you are right. These are all plant products. But do you know these are the excretory products of the plant? Oxygen, is it getting excreted by the plant? Yes. By now we know that yes, during photosynthesis, oxygen is being excreted out. And what about others? Compost. The compost that is there, it is produced by the dry leaves, the bark of the trees. All these fall and we can make compost manure out of it. So that is compost. What about resins, gum, rubber, tannin? They are also the excretory products which are found in the dead cells of the plants. Like old xylem vessels, they will be present. Bark of the tree. So these are the places they are present. So we are going to talk about excretion today. So excretion is elimination of the metabolic waste products from the body of any organism. Every cell of the body will be producing metabolic waste products which cannot be accumulated inside the cell. It has to be discarded, and that can be done with the help of process called excretion. Okay, so that is what is happening. In animals, if you see ammonia, uric acid, urea, carbon dioxide, certain ions, excess of water, these are all to be excreted out. And whatever is there in excess and these metabolic waste products are there, they need to be excreted out from the body. And these are produced because of metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, amino acids and nucleic acids, structures like that. Let us start today's module. We are going to deal with excretion in plants and animals. And we first start with excretion in plants. When we talk about excretion in plants, plants don't have a specific excretory system that will help in excretion of the materials. But they do have certain structures that help in excretion. For example, stomata. We have learned earlier also about stomata. You know that stomata help in exchange of gases. Now let us focus more on excretion part of stomata. Stomata helps in removal of oxygen at the time of photosynthesis, removal of carbon dioxide at the time of respiration, and it helps in removal of excess of water in the form of water vapor at the time of transpiration. Lenticels are present. They are present on the stem, in the barks of the trees they are present, and they help in elimination of gases like carbon dioxide will be moving out through these lenticels. Root hairs that are present in the root also help in exchange of gases. They help in taking in oxygen, giving out carbon dioxide. So elimination of carbon dioxide is occurring through the root hairs. And roots will also help in excreting out certain waste products into the soil. So soil is porous. The exchange of gases can occur when the soil is porous. If there is waterlogging, that's the reason plant dies off. Why? Because the exchange of gases won't occur in that case. Now coming to excretion in animals. As we know, as we have seen, proteins, nucleic acids, they are nitrogenous compounds that are present and they have this amino group present in them. Now when the metabolic activities occur, the metabolic waste products are formed like ammonia, urea, uric acid. These structures will be formed, these molecules will be formed which has to be eliminated out of the body. Now if you see fish, like most of the aquatic organisms like fish is going to eliminate nitrogenous waste material in the form of ammonia. Ammonia can be excreted out. For excretion of ammonia, it needs a lot of water. So that can be done with the help of, it can be done only in aquatic organisms. Right? So because we terrestrial organisms, they won't be able to excrete out so much of water. So aquatic organisms can release out this ammonia in water. The moment it is produced, it can be removed out. Ammonia is highly toxic, so it has to be completely removed at the same time. So they are monotelic organisms. where the fish will be excreting out the excretory product is in the form of ammonia here. Here in mammals and amphibians, they are producing urea. So ammonia gets converted into urea, which is less toxic form, and it requires less amount of water for dissolving and removing it off. So they prefer to excrete out with the help of in the form of urea. In birds and reptiles, they are having uric acid. They excrete out in the form of uric acid, and that is, this uric acid will be excreted out. You must have seen like a paste or powder or as pellets. So that is how it will be excreted out. Let us look at unicellular organisms. Now, when we see unicellular organisms like you can see paramecium, amoeba, euglena, their whole body surface is in contact with the environment. So what happens? They can directly like carbon dioxide and oxygen exchange directly occurs through the body surface. So these excretory materials can directly diffuse out through their body surface. Not only that, the contractile vacuoles, everywhere you can see these are the contractile vacuoles that are present, and they help in removal of excess of water from the body of the organism. Now coming to multicellular organisms. Multicellular organisms need to have some structures which will help in excreting out the waste materials from their body. For example, let us take, I have just taken few examples to make you understand that there are excretory structures that are present, organs that are present that help in excretion in multicellular organisms. So here when we talk about sponges like porifera, okay, so phylum porifera, I've taken an example of a sponge here. Here you can see they have pores on the surface of the body, and these pores are called as ostia. Ostia, through ostia water enters inside. So this is a water canal system that they have, water enters inside here and then passes through the osculum. So here you can see the movement of water that is happening here. It passes from, it enters through the ostia and passes out through the osculum. So this is how the movement of water occurs. When water is entering into ostia, it is bringing in oxygen and food, and the cells that are there, you can see here, they're all lined, the cells are all lined there. They will take up oxygen, they will take up the food, all the digestion process, everything occurs. The metabolic waste products, everything what has to be excreted out, and the gaseous exchange also, carbon dioxide that has to be released out. All that will be going out like this through osculum. So this is how it helps in the excretion process. Here, other example, we are looking at planaria, Planaria platyhelminth, and here it lives in water, right? And they have flame cells. Now these flame cells will have cilia inside, and the cilia will beat and it will push the waste material out of the body. So this is what is flame cell about. And flame cells, a bunch of flame cells are called as protonephridia. Now coming to earthworms. Earthworms, they have nephridia. It is arranged in a segmental fashion. You can see here green color structure there. That is the nephridia that is present, and there are pores present here. These pores are nephridia pores through which the excretory material will be given out into the environment. So nephridia is present in earthworms. It's an annelid and it helps in excretion. Coming to cockroach. Cockroach belongs to Insecta, and that is in the phylum Arthropoda. In Arthropoda, insects, if we see, they are having Malpighian tubules are present, and these Malpighian tubules help in releasing out the metabolic waste products from the body. Let us talk about human beings. In human beings, we have kidneys for excretion, and we have a proper excretory system there for excretion. Okay, so the kidneys that are there, they are the main organs that help in excretion. So what are we having in the excretory system? We have a pair of kidneys. Okay, so then we have two kidneys there. So which one is the right and which one is the left? You should know always while labeling, you should know which is the right one, which is the left one. Your right side becomes the left side there, because when you stand like this, this is your left, this is your right. So this is your left kidney. Okay, so this is your left kidney and this becomes the right kidney. So there are two kidneys there, a pair of kidneys, a pair of ureters. So these are a pair of ureters. Again, here also you have left ureter and right ureter. You have, after that you have one urinary bladder. There's one urinary bladder and one urethra. Okay, so mostly I see children make mistake here in ureter, urethra. Remember, urethra throws urine out of the body. You can listen to some rhyming words there. Thra throws urine out of the body. So urethra throws urine out of the body. Remember it that way, you'll never forget. So ureter is something that starts from the kidney and it takes the urine towards your urinary bladder. Urinary bladder, the urine gets collected and through urethra, it throws urine out of the body. Okay, so these are the structures present, a pair of kidneys, a pair of ureters, a urinary bladder and a urethra. Now let us start with the kidney. Okay, kidney as the excretory organ. Kidneys are, you can see it's bean-shaped structure, reddish brown is the color. And where is it exactly placed? It is just behind. It is at the back, that is it is placed. If you see, it is just behind here. And this is your vertebral column. This is your vertebral column. And these are the two kidneys that are placed just next to the vertebral column, right? So this is the placement of the kidney and they are supported by the ribs and the muscles there. So it is protected there with the help of the last part of your rib and the muscles of the back. So this is how the kidney is, the structure is like this. Let us move further and understand more about the kidney. This is the kidney. If you see the kidney, it is having a convex part. So this is a convex part. And here it has a concave part, right? Here is a concave part. A notch is getting formed. There into this notch, you can see the artery going in. Okay, so there is a renal artery that is entering inside. Blood is entering into this renal artery. This is how blood is entering inside. Blood enters into the kidney. There it goes, it gets filtered. And the filtered blood is coming out of the kidney through the vein. So this is the renal vein. So renal vein is coming out of the kidney. It is a filtered blood that is coming out of the kidney. Urine that has got formed here will be coming out through the ureter. Okay, so through the ureter you can see urine coming out. So this is the structure. Inside, if you see, you will be able to see funnel-like structures here, and that is pelvis. Then further, if you see, this kidney is divided into outer cortex and inner medulla. So it is having outer cortex, inner medulla. So that is the structure of the kidney. If you just take a cross section, you'll be able to, a section of the kidney, you'll be able to see this way. Not the cross section, the section there. Now coming to ureters. So we know that ureters are the two tubes that are coming out of the kidneys and they are entering into the urinary bladder. Right, so it enters into the urinary bladder and ureter is bringing the urine that has got formed in the kidney that is flowing through the ureters and it is entering into the urinary bladder. Here if you see, this is not under your control. It is having muscle which is smooth muscle. So you can see here these are the muscular layer, that is muscularis is shown here. This is the muscularis layer that is present here and these are smooth muscles. You have learnt about smooth muscles, it is spindle shaped. Okay, so these spindle shaped muscles will be contracting, relaxing. This is involuntary in function, so it's not under your control. So the movement occurs, it's controlled by these muscles and urine will be flowing, it goes into the urinary bladder. So it's connecting the kidney with the urinary bladder. Now looking at the urinary bladder. So this is how urinary bladder looks like. If there is no urine there, it is almost like a pear-shaped structure. But it is stretchable, it has a lot of folds there, it is stretchable. Urine gets collected from both the ureters, the urine gets collected here. After urine gets collected in the urinary bladder, it is stretchable, it expands. You will have urge for urination. And when you have urge for urination, Please do not suppress it. It's very important. Do attend nature's call. Please urinate is very important. You need to urinate it out. Why? Because it will be affecting your kidneys otherwise. So urinary bladder is there. Once it becomes full, you get the urge for urination, and then through the urethra, you throw out urine out of the body. That process is called as micturition. We'll be just coming about it. Okay, so that's about micturition that is happening here, and you remove urine out of the body. This is a male structure, this is a female structure. You can see here the male and female, there's a difference. There are sphincter muscles that are there which will help in the process of urination. It's under your control. So here, this is voluntary and it is under your control to remove urine out of the body. Urethra, so I was talking to you about urethra. You can see it's a long structure that is seen in males, and in females it is a very short one. So males it is around about 20 centimeters length, and in females is around about 4.8 centimeters in length. So it is a shorter one. Hygiene is very important. Girls, you need to be very careful. You need to clean and please maintain your hygiene, because otherwise it leads to a lot of urinary infections, which is not good. Okay, so that's about the urethra that is present, and there are external sphincter muscles. You can see here, external sphincter muscles will be there, and it is under nervous control. And when you have the urge for urination, when you feel, at that time urine can be passed. So these sphincter muscles will help in that process. So this is what we have learnt about. Today we have learnt about the excretory system. So excretory system consists of kidneys, 2 kidneys there, 2 ureters, urinary bladder and urethra. So these are the structures that are present. We will be dealing with this in the next module in a little more in detail about the kidney. That is how is kidney going to filter and how the urine is getting formed. That will be dealt in the next module that is coming. Here you also have to understand about the blood supply that is happening. Here this is the aorta that is present. Here aorta is bringing this blood, and it is bringing blood into the kidneys. The renal artery is entering into the kidneys, I told you. So this is a renal artery entering into the kidney. So you need to mark that also when you are labeling that this is the renal artery. So this is renal artery, and there is a vein coming out. I said the vein that is coming out is the renal vein. Okay, and you know, renal vein that is coming out now is going to get attached with vena cava. So this is vena cava and aorta. Okay, so you need to add up these labels here: kidneys, ureter, urinary bladder, urethra. Main part of your excretory system, plus to mention about the blood supply here: aorta, vena cava, renal artery, renal vein. Okay, so that is it. You can see here the urine is passing through the ureter, urine is passing and it enters into the urinary bladder, it gets collected there, and this is how urine passes through the urethra, comes out of the urinary bladder. So this is how micturition is occurring. Now it's question time, so get ready for MCQs. Name the tube which connects the kidney to the urinary bladder. Kidney to the urinary bladder. Hope you remember. Go through the options: urethra, nephron, tubule, ureter. Answer is ureter. Okay, always go through all the options and think and then answer when you're attempting MCQs. So ureter is the correct option. In amoeba, excretion takes place through the process of, what is the process occurring here? Diffusion. Name the excretory organ present in earthworm through which excretion takes place. This is flame cell, nephridia, Malpighian tubule or kidneys. Think about it. It's earthworm. We talked about earthworm. So it is the nephridia that is present here. The major waste produced by human beings are, is it carbon dioxide, urea, both A and B or only B? So what do you think here? It is both. Carbon dioxide and urea both are produced. So both A and B. So like this you may have to think. You just don't directly jump into urea there and write only urea. Okay? Next. Which organ in the human body is responsible for removing carbon dioxide from the body? It is carbon dioxide from the body. So remember, kidney, lungs, blood, ureter. It is lung. So these are the answers. So always, whenever you are attempting your MCQs, do think, go through all the options that are there, and then go for the answers. So we stop the session here, and we'll continue the session in the next module. We'll be discussing more about kidney and its structure and its function, inner part of it, urine formation, how it occurs, all that. So till then, namaste.